You're watching Nardin Talks, and today we'll be sharing an extraordinary and complex story that emerged about an Israeli dentist, Yuval Bittion, who encountered Hamas chief Yahya Sinwar while Sinwar was in Israeli custody. This encounter not only saved Sinwar's life but also played a crucial role in his eventual release from prison, demonstrating the intertwined fates of individuals on the opposing sides of a protracted conflict. Yahya Sinwar, a prominent leader of Hamas, was captured and held by Israeli authorities in 1988 for the charges of planned abduction, killing of 2 Israeli soldiers, and murder of 4 Palestinians, whom he suspected of cooperating with Israel. He was arrested and was sentenced to 4 life sentences, of which he served 22 years until his release. During his time in Israeli custody, Sinwar was diagnosed with cancer. Despite the ongoing conflict and animosity between Israel and Hamas, Sinwar received medical treatment in an Israeli hospital. In 2008, while serving the prison sentence, he was operated by Israeli doctors to remove a tumor from his brain to save his life. It was during this period that an Israeli dentist, Dr. Buttons, became pivotal in Sinwar's life. The dentist's medical intervention and dedication to his Hippocratic oath exemplified a rare moment of compassion in the midst of bitter and violent struggle. The medical treatment Sinwar received was successful, and he was eventually cured of his cancer. It was Dr. Bittons who stood out from the periodically published scathing reports on the condition of Palestinian prisoners. Overcrowded cells, lacking proper sanitation and ventilation, harsh interrogation, and in some cases, years of solitary confinement and withholding of proper medical care. Many claimed that Dr. Bittons has treated his prisoners like humans, that he would bring hearts of prisoners, go into their cells, eat with them, drink with them, and if there was a problem, he would call and help. Lately, Dr. Bittons had been working to persuade Mr. Sinwar and others to cooperate with Israeli researchers, studying suicide bombings. And during this research, he identified that something was wrong with Sinwar's brain. He told his colleagues and claimed that perhaps it's a stroke or an abscess, and persuaded them that he needed to go to hospital urgently. This act of saving a life, irrespective of political affiliations, underscores the complexities and paradoxes of human relationships within the context of war and conflict. The Israeli medical staff, including the dentist, treated Sinwar as they would do any other patient, highlighting a movement of humanity and professional ethics transcending the violent conflict between their respective communities. Days later, Sinwar did thank the dentist and explained him that how he, being a Muslim, now owes his life to his savior. Sinwar's release from the Israeli custody did not occur immediately after his treatment. It was in 2011 he became a significant figure in high-stakes prisoner swap deal, where he was the most senior Palestinian prisoner freed among 1,026 others in the 2011 prisoner exchange for IDF soldier Gilad Shalit, who had been held hostage by Hamas for 5 years. After his release, Yahya Sinwar returned to Gaza, and this is where one more unexpected turns happened. He resumed his leadership role within Hamas. His strategic and operational skills were evident when he masterminded the October 7th attack on Israel. This attack was a significant escalation in the conflict, resulting in numerous casualties and further straining that already tense relationship between Israel and Gaza. Sinwar's involvement in such an violent activities post-release paints a complex picture of redemption, duty, and ongoing animosity. On this very day, 7th October, Dr. Bitton's nephew, Tamir Adar, became a Hamas hostage during an attack in Air Oz, a kibbutz or a communal settlement in Israel miles away from Gaza. Mr. Bittons held small hope for his nephew's release. He believed that Mr. Sinwar would feel bound by a kind of code, and that if he was made aware that Hamas held Dr. Bitton's nephew, he at least would not allow them to be mistreated. It indeed was true. In the wake of Dr. Bitton's TV's interview, Israeli intelligence learned that Mr. Sinwar was asking about Dr. Adar's well-being. His subordinates assured him that he is all right. But later, due to some miscommunication by the subordinates, on January 5th, the government confirmed that new intelligence showed, wounded while defending his land, Mr. Adar had apparently died. Not long after being dragged into Gaza, one of at least 35 hostages believed to be dead among the roughly 125 still being held. The narrative of Israeli dentist and Yahya Sinwar serves as a profound reminder of the deeply human elements within the broader political and military struggles. It highlights how individual actions driven by professional duty and compassion can have far-reaching consequences. This story is not just about the medical treatment provided, but also about the unexpected intersection of lives on the opposing sides of a conflict. Sinwar's journey from being a prisoner in the need of medical care to becoming a key figure in Hamas military operations against Israel underscores the unpredictable and multifaceted nature of the conflict. It brings to light the delicate balance of ethical decisions made by individuals within the larger machinery of war and politics. While the Israeli medical staff, including the dentist, adhered to their principles of saving lives, the subsequent actions of Sinwar reminds us of the persistent and cyclical nature of violence and retaliation in the Israeli-Palestinian conflicts. Mr. Sinwar once told an Italian journalist that prison builds you. He said, "It gives you time to think about what you believe in and the price you're willing to pay." Ultimately, it underscores the complexity of achieving peace and reconciliation in a region marked by decades of conflict and deep-seated animosities.